We begin here this hour. The suspect in the killing of conservative activist Charlie Kirk has been named as 22-year-old Tyler Robinson after a family member turned him in to police. Authorities have released more details after a furious manhunt following the murder of Kirk on Wednesday on the Utah campus college.
Well, after an intense 48-hour manhunt, police say they now have a suspect in custody. They've identified him as 22-year-old Tyler Robinson, a resident of Utah and someone who they say came to their attention because his father recognized him in the pictures that they released to the public. After that, he spoke to his son confessed, and the father helped to bring him in to authorities. All of this unfolding very quickly on Friday morning. First of all, the news being released by the US president in a live TV interview on Fox News early on Friday morning, with it being closely followed up by a press conference in Utah by the FBI Director Kash Patel and the Utah Governor Spencer Cox, all of them detailing what has unfolded at a very rapid pace in this investigation. Late on Thursday, they released very detailed close-up images of the suspect wearing a distinct black t-shirt with an American flag and an eagle on the front of it. And they also released a video of the suspect running away after the shooting, running across a flat rooftop, getting down onto the ground and then escaping into a wooded area nearby. On Friday, police also revealed more details about what they had found, the rifle and unused cartridges, saying that messages were scrawled on those cartridges, including one that said, "Hey fascist, catch," and other anti-fascist messages as well. Donald Trump says he hopes that now that the suspect has been arrested, this will progress very quickly, and he is hoping that if he is convicted at trial, he will face the death penalty. Donald Trump has also said that he hopes to attend the funeral of Charlie Kirk, which could take place next weekend, the president said, potentially in Arizona.
I feel like he was pivotal in turning our generation for good and just speaking the truth. I went to Grand Canyon University and he came there and everybody loved him. And from what I heard from some of my friends that work at Turning Point, he was a solid man.
We have seen over the last few days an unbelievable outpouring from both sides of the political aisle. And again, the spectre of political violence raising its head here in the United States. Nick Harper, SABC News, Washington.
To talk more on this, we are now joined by international relations expert Professor John Stremlau, and he joins us now via our video link. Professor, thank you so much for your time this evening here on SABC News. I mean, let's start off here. You know, the issue around political violence in the US. Just this week, we saw the killing of Charlie Kirk. And it also reminds us, right, just not so long ago, there was an assassination attempt for US President Donald Trump while he was campaigning for his presidency. Why does it seem as if political violence is beginning to rear its ugly head again in the US?
It's never gone away. It goes back to the founding of the Republic. And this is another reminder of why it's crucial to accept Charlie Kirk. And I disagree with his political views that were held before he was shot. But I condemn the violence that is so typical of the United States politics. But it's been historic, and the guns that are in circulation. I had a fundamentalist Christian, raised as a fundamentalist Christian, as Tyler Robinson was. During my first roommate in graduate school. And he carried a gun, and I said, it's got to be out of here. And he did abide by that, and that was fine. But still, it is this Christian nationalism is very exclusive, and Donald Trump, who is certainly not devout in any way, but nevertheless attacked his political opponents reportedly today, and that's a polarizing tendency that is afflicting American politics right now.
Yeah, and Professor, looking at the killing of Charlie Kirk, what would you say this killing means for America, and particularly, what does it mean for the Trump administration?
Well, it means for Trump very little. I mean, he's going to exploit it and blame the Democrats, but it's a bipartisan issue. I was in researching this invitation of you, Mbali. I researched whether or not the directory exists for political violence in the U.S. and I was surprised to note that it doesn't. I mean, we all know the high profile, and you mentioned Donald Trump, and it goes back to the killing of John Kennedy, who's a Democrat, and Martin Luther King, it's not at all new, and how anti-liberals are tearing America apart again is the subtitle of a book by Robert Kagan at the Brookings Institution, which is a good read, Rebellion, and it just traces all of the violence that has afflicted American politics, and I wish it would end, because Europeans are more peaceful, and South Africans don't have political violence quite like this, although Jacob Zuma's supporters did raise their, after the protests of the recent election, and Donald Trump is to blame for both inciting and pardoning the perpetrators and convicted criminals that were in the January 2021 insurrection that afflicted Washington.
And Professor, taking it back now to South Africa and looking at a number of people, especially those who are supporters of Charlie Kirk, and we have some of those in South Africa. We saw them going to the U.S. Embassy in Pretoria, going there to lay flowers and basically passing on their condolences to the U.S. following the killing of Charlie Kirk. This killing, will it have any implications for South Africa, if so?
Well, I would like to think that it would, but I can't say that so long as Donald Trump is in the White House, he has it in for South Africa. The 500-word executive order that he issued 2 weeks after becoming president for the second time, addressing egregious actions of the Republic of South Africa, not only cut all of the foreign assistance to South Africa, but it also welcomed Afrikaners refugees at a time when he's expelling people of color. And so he's a racist that is nevertheless elected the president of America by virtue of the election in 2024, which my wife and I observed as Carter Center observers.
And Professor, before I let you go, what do you make of this political divide between the Democrats and as well as the Republicans, particularly looking at the impact of Charlie Kirk's death for both parties?
Well, South Africa got a lot of friends in the international community, and Donald Trump will he's not going to run for a third term. He'd have to change the Constitution, and so therefore I'm fairly hopeful that South Africa will again be viewed positively by the administration, and it was certainly bipartisan. George Bush did far, and Barack Obama and Joe Biden carried on the tradition of being positive about South Africa, and it's of its people. And I think South Africa is a test for Donald Trump because believes in diversity, equity, and inclusion, and he doesn't.
All right, Professor, thank you so much for your time this evening. That's Professor John Stremlau, the international relations expert, talking to us about this week's killing of Charlie Kirk.